They're setting up my own little game show. Well, he goes out and does whatever he does. But I tell you what, whatever he does, I will support immensely.
So you'll be doing the majority of the entertaining.
That's what they tell me. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's going to be a disappointed audience. But we'll listen, man.
I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
I was in a family squabble with Donnie and Marie. Find somebody that can brag about that. Find somebody that Dr. Phil called a retard.
Find someone that Dr. Phil called a retard.
I'm the only one on record. And I'm proud of it.
That's going to be the new promo coming in. The only man in America that Dr. Phil is called a retard. Chunky B.
Hey everybody, welcome to 1 Degree of Chunky B. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I speak the truth, you chose a very great podcast to tune in. Do what we do, tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and yada, yada, yada. Before we get to our special guest, which, by the way, we're lucky to have him, and most of you people listening know who he is. But before we get to the sexy guy to my right across the table of love, in the garage of love, the executive producer, give it up for Gary Adler.
Thank you, Chunky B. And very excited to be here today. I got to say, I'm not going to give it away yet.
I get goosebumps on my shins.
Shin bumps.
Shin bumps. Check it out. The man, the wizard of the knobs. We cannot do this production without him. Give it up from Podcalyptic something or other. Is that close?
Podcalyptic Times.
Give it up for Travis Spencer.
It's easy to say, guys. It's easy to say. Thank you, Chunky. I love being here.
Gary, I need a partner on this introduction. He's hilarious. And let me give the basics. Funny guy. He's been on Craig Ferguson a handful of times. He's from the best podcast probably known to man history, from the Crab Feast. Say his name.
His name is Jay Larson, and I would preface that with saying the podcast with the coolest logo.
I would, first of all, is this all on video? So they've been seeing me sitting here the whole time before the intro.
No, we got you.
Oh.
We haven't cut to you yet. We're cutting to you right now.
Wow.
The man. Jay's like, I'll be in
tell
my
you,
trailer.
Man, I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what's going on around here, boys. It's good to be here.
Oh, right on. Man.
Nice facilities. I mean, if you guys don't know, these cameras are taped down to a cookie tin with duct tape and some little like pen holder, like wicker pen holder on top of a...
You know what? I'm starting to get warm because he's not even exaggerating.
No. We'll take a
was
picture of that and show the group.
We got to show it to you.
You have to post that.
Man, you and Ryan are tearing it up on the podcast.
We have a lot of fun together. If you guys don't listen, we have a podcast called The Crab Feast. Chunky B's been on.
Yep.
Gary's helped us with a lot of behind the scenes stuff,
visual branding, etc.
etc.
How many episodes have you done?
79.
Wow.
79. How many have you guys done?
Well, this is 5.
This is number 5. Honestly, I'd be surprised if you didn't get to 12. You know what I mean? I mean, the way this is set up.
You think we're canceled at 12?
This is great. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wow, Jay, the positivity is killing me.
Oh my God! So what's up in the comedy world in your resume lately?
You know, just shows, podcasts, and writing. You know, I'm writing a show right now.
Yeah. Too early to talk about?
Contracted to write a show, or is it a spec show?
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
wow.
Contracted.
Good for you.
Yeah, spec. But like, I wrote a spec and then they bought it, and so now I'm just finishing it up, and we just got our notes from network, and we're writing the script, and then hopefully we'll get a pilot made.
One of the big 4 or something like that?
Fox, yeah.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Good
you
for
shut up.
man.
No, you double shut
Fucking
up.
tell me what to do.
Shut up, infinity.
Shut
Damn.
up times all that.
So you are from...
Massachusetts.
Right. And
Yeah.
you're a big sports fan.
Yeah, big time.
Big
We talk
Patriots
any
fan?
sport except for maybe NASCAR.
Fair enough. No, we can't talk NASCAR.
All right, I got a
We're
trivia
horrible.
question. Who's the big poppy?
Honestly, I should literally take your glasses off and punch you in the face. Yeah. I mean, you should just be taken outside.
No, seriously, yes or no? Is he juiced?
For what I've heard, he was in the Mitchell Report, and he did an illegal substance. You know, he was never suspended for any games. So, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but people that were mentioned in the Mitchell report, and before they were doing substances that were not illegal then, which are now illegal now. So I don't care. You can say what you want. I don't.
He was
I don't know.
He was grandpappy'd in. Is that
Yeah,
what
he
you're
was
saying?
grandpappy'd in. I don't know.
Clever that was.
All right, so Jay Larson, you are married.
I am.
You're about to have a baby. Is that correct?
I am.
And
Round of applause for a baby
Sorry.
coming.
We're excited.
So we don't have to bring out the adoption papers, which we usually do with our single guests.
Yeah, if you're married and you're single, we find a kid for you.
Oh, that'd be
But
fantastic.
you've got a bun in the oven.
I hope someday to adopt.
Me?
So wait. Are you excited? You know, we've been long time fathers.
Long time, yeah. I've heard about. I mean, I know your kid.
His kid's legendary.
No.
Legendary baseball player. I've seen him. You know the Santa Monica where the skate park is on 17th and Olympic.
Yeah, I know exactly where it is.
You know, there's some baseball fields there.
I know all of it. I used to play softball over there.
Okay,
that was
saw
my field.
Jack O'Rourke hit one over the fence, over Pico Boulevard, and into Tacos Por Favor parking lot.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a bomb.
Yeah,
No, he did a bomb.
unbelievable.
He did a bomb. But that's not about us. It's not about us. No, check it out. Boy or girl?
Boy.
Let's hang on.
Yeah, round of applause for the boy.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I wanted a boy. I told my wife, I'm like, I want to find out as soon as we can. I told her all along I want a boy. And I'm like, if it's not a boy, I want to find out early just so I can prep for the fact that it's not going to be. And then give me a week, and then I'll be stoked about the girl.
It'll be all right.
Right. Shake it off. Shake it off.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
What? You're going to raise this kid. You're going to raise a kid, and what sport? Now, you're from Boston, so you've got some
I'm going to
options.
introduce him to as many sports as possible,
Hockey?
except for football. And probably not hockey, because I don't know. I mean, if he wants to play hockey would be tough in LA. I don't know, but
No, hockey's great here.
I
Big
also
hockey
want to.
town.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's huge.
Oh,
Little Kings. I mean, it's incredible. The Kings junior
oh
program
yeah, the
is
Kings
fantastic.
tight.
Did you play it as a kid?
I played baseball and soccer. I played baseball through college. So
Oh, no kidding.
baseball, golf will be the two major. And then like hoops, if he wants to hoop, I don't know. Maybe football, I don't know. Maybe hockey, I don't know. But then I also, I want to introduce him into like guitar. You know what I mean? Like that's how you're going to get chicks is playing guitar, and introduce them to arts and want to introduce them into everything. We don't want, not just, sports.
Surfing. Can I say surfing? The kid right there, Adler.
Yeah, I know.
His
You're a
two
big
kids
surfer,
are
right?
crazy. His two kids are crazy on the board.
It's not about us.
Oh, that's
about
right.
Jay Larson today.
Well, bottom line is whatever he wants to get down with, especially LA and,
Definitely.
SoCal, such a surf heavy. He might be skateboarding and doing all that. Who knows?
you live right in the hood. I mean, you're
Yeah.
there. You're
Yeah.
right there.
Okay, hey, before we change the subject,
Yes.
what about getting him into comedy?
Negative.
I knew you were going to say that.
Nah.
I knew you were
Put it
gonna
this way:
say
if he wants to, I'm gonna say God bless.
Yeah.
Go for it. Good luck.
How long have you been grinding it out?
12 years, 12 and a half.
And let me ask you something. Is this the script that you're writing now? Is this the best opportunity you've had?
Yeah, I mean this is pretty much. I mean I've gotten close on some other stuff, but this is like never my own thing. You know what I mean? This is the closest I've had with my own thing, which I've always wanted to do. I didn't grow up a stand-up fan. Like I mean I saw Bill Cosby when I was young, so that was like my first introduction to stand-up, and I heard Eddie Murphy Delirious when I was like 12.
Prior.
But no, see, like no dad around, man. Like Rye Sickler, who does crab feast with me, if you guys that don't know,
Yeah.
he got introduced to Pryor and a lot of comedians at a young age. I didn't know who Bill Hicks was. I still couldn't tell you one
What
Bill
about
Hicks
Carlin?
joke.
You didn't know
Nope.
Steve Carlin?
Steve Carlin? Nah, man.
Steve
Steve
Carlin.
Carlin, get out here, man.
George's brother
Steve
Steve. No
at,
one knew
man?
him.
No
Nobody
one knew.
really knew him.
His brother.
Steve Carlin, he pitched for the Phillies, didn't he?
That's what it was.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
lefty threw a good sinker.
What's his name? George, right?
Yeah.
No, I can't believe I got a box set of him in my car. I listen to him all the time, and I just called him Steve.
Well,
Oh my
see,
God.
for me, growing up, it was John Ritter. You know what I mean? Then it was
Sure.
Seinfeld. It was sitcoms. Like, that's all I was always in love with sitcoms. And, and Johnny Carson, he was like
course.
a huge idol of mine growing up. So,
Pop quiz. What's your favorite sitcom back in the day?
Seinfeld, no question. I think it's the greatest thing ever written. Modern Family, as far as today, I think is really, really,
agree.
really, really well written. But Seinfeld is just unbelievable. You watch old episodes and you're like, God.
Yeah.
We got it. What's another word for TiVo? MSG?
There isn't one.
No, it's
Just say
DVR.
TiVo,
DVR. That's
Yeah.
what it is. My wife every night.
Steve DVR.
Stevie DVR. I know. I do too, man. I do too. I would sit there and that's when
It holds the test of time.
Oh yeah, it's just the best.
Real quick before we keep going, I just have to ask him questions.
You can ask
Is
whatever
that
you
okay?
want, man.
What about How I Met Your Mother?
I never watched it.
Wow. Okay.
I've heard good things
No,
about
he
it.
was
I've
saying
just never
about
watched
real
it.
life. He was talking about in real life how he met your mom. It's a really great story. We're gonna go into it.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hey, are we allowed to flip around with no? Because
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
I understand. You know what? I called Ryan for a little, back info.
Backup, yeah.
He told me that you're getting heavily into environmentalism.
No, it's just because I
Is
went.
that a word?
Yeah, I think it is environment, and I would think you being involved with the end of the world, this might be something that comes up.
Right.
No, I just like when you have a kid coming, you all of a sudden you're not just buying for two people, and all of a sudden you have to have a different perspective, and all of a sudden you start looking at. I don't know. Lately, I've just been looking at how much waste there is and how much trash there is, and plastic doesn't decompose, and I'm like, where are we gonna all go, and where are we gonna fit, and where are our kids gonna go, and he probably brought up Trash Island because I brought it up to you. I mean, a lot of you listeners don't know. Google Trash Island. There's an island of trash that's 100 square miles. It's just floating in the ocean. It's disgusting.
I know about it.
So now, like, you got a baby, and you start talking about diapers, and then you're like, well, what if we just did cloth diapers, or did diapers that had the inserts that are smaller than regular? How can I lessen my impact? It just scares me. It overwhelms me, and then you're like, it's very easy to turn a blind eye and just be like, nah, whatever, let everyone else do it. You know what I mean? Let everybody else do that crap, and I'll just go ahead and live the way I want to live, So
So you're going to be vocal about it, or you're just doing it?
Right now, I was actually, it's funny you say that. I was just getting something to eat, and Matt Damon was on TV. He's big into, like, the fresh water for everybody. And they pulled out a stat. You ready for this? Do you know more people have a cell phone on the planet than have a toilet that they can use to go to the bathroom?
Damn.
That's pretty amazing. So, like, I don't know. There's just a lot of things. I hope maybe someday I can be influential enough to make more of an impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of... Do you know how many people are in China?
5 billion.
No. Do you know?
Not a clue.
Do you know how many are in India?
No clue.
China has 1.3 billion people. Do you know how many people in the United States?
So wait, you can be
30
one
million.
in a million.
300 million.
300 million. There's a billion more people in China. And that's like another thing. It's like, when you look at... Did you hear about that woman in Oregon? She was like setting up her like Halloween, display. What do you call it? Decorations.
Right. Yeah,
and she opened up this one, and it was like these gravestones, and there was a note inside it from this guy who was in a camp in China.
Building those little gravestones.
Yeah, and just telling them what the work conditions are, and basically they just if you spoke out, they'd put you in jail.
That's great.
Yeah, they put you in jail, and he was a college-educated guy and spoke English, and it's just like
slipped it into the styrofoam tombstone.
yeah, and it's real easy.
That's cool.
Real easy. Yeah, and he had someone watching him the whole time. He had to like hide a pen. He got a pen somehow. Anyway, it's just real easy to just buy everything.
Somehow.
Yeah. I've just been doing a lot of research on that because, like, now I'm starting to think about the future of my child and less about the future of me. And
Well, let me tell you what was scary for us when our kids were little was we live in L.A. and the horror posters are at eye level everywhere. Like the horrible.
What?
The horror.
Oh, wait.
this kid out of his mind.
What is going on here?
Come on.
Hey, wait a second. Wait a second. We got a surprise guest here.
What are you doing, bro, with those
What's
chains?
up, bitch?
What?
How's your flower garden?
All right, let me listen, you little fucking shit. You want to come at me? I'll fucking pound your ass.
Dude, have you made love with your, like, douchey roommate or whatever his name is?
Dude, this little punk. Let me tell you, what, you dye your hair now? You dyeing your hair?
Nah,
Where'd you get those chains at, playa?
dude, your mom.
Oh! No cigarettes? You not smoking butts today?
Nah, not right now.
No.
Maybe later.
You guys want to see me kick the shit out of this kid?
I'll give you $10.
Nah. What's up, playa?
Get out of here, Trey. We're trying to do a show.
Looking
All right,
good,
you guys,
man.
that's
I like those chains.
Badass Trey. We'll break it down.
Boom.
Way to go, my man.
Bitchin', Trey.
Bitch.
Nice uni, player.
Close that.
What
fuck
kind
was that kid?
I was like, is that the dog coming in? Then here he comes, Trey.
Oh
The
my
kid's
God.
a bad seed.
You guys, break it down. Break it down.
Well, that was my son, by the way, Beck, and Jay and Ryan cast him in a really cool little skit, which I believe they're going to be pitching soon. So maybe I won't give it away. Or anything,
I don't know if we're gonna be
but,
pitching it.
After that?
It might eventually get edited, and we might show people.
Oh, is that what?
Every now and then, Rye's like, this is how it goes. A lot of times when you're making stuff for free, you don't know who's editing it, where everything's going. Yeah, it just takes forever. Rye every now and then will be like, listen, I did a new cut on Asshole Neighbor. And I'm like, bro, I don't even want to hear about
By
it.
the way, he was 8 when they shot it. Now he's 12. He's got a beard.
No way.
No, he's 10. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
my
I think they're done with it.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm sure they are.
Hey, Jay,
I'm sure they are.
Thanks for indulging us.
Yeah,
brother.
I got a phone call about 10 o'clock last night. We're bringing in the badass neighbor. And I'm like, dude, I don't even remember. You remember when Beck was this? I'm like, you think Jay's going to be cool with this?
I'm
Messing
cool
up
with anything.
All right. So that was our little guest surprise. Dude.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
He loves you guys too, and he can't wait for this thing to blow up.
Yeah,
Tell Ryan
I'm
to
sure
get
it's
it
gonna be.
together.
I'm sure it's gonna be huge, bro.
But you know something? It's
Gonna pay for him to go to college.
You know the podcast sucks, but that's the biggest guest. We can get the surprise, Jay.
Well, I mean, who else are you gonna get?
So you've been at it for 12 years.
Yeah.
I saw you on, doing my little web research. I
Yeah.
saw that really cool set you did on Conan. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's been good for me.
So is that you've gotten a lot of response from that?
Yeah, man. I mean, that video went viral, you know. So once it did, like, it helped out a ton, especially like when we were in the pitch process of my show. I think it helped a lot of people, like, to see that many views and stuff, and a lot of people that know me know that story, you know.
Yeah.
They look forward. Like, I can watch people, like, when I'm on the road, start getting excited when I'm doing it. They're like, oh, no, this is it.
He's getting ready to do the.
Yeah,
that's fun.
so that's really cool. It's really cool to see. Because I know we all have comics that we love,
Yeah.
you know, and there's certain jokes of theirs that's the joke that like stuck with us that we became a fan over.
Yeah.
So to see people, it's
You know, when
overwhelming.
Steve Carlin did that one about.
His name was George, dude. Okay, I had one brain fart. Now it's going to be like on my permanent record. I got to tell you.
Derek Cosby, man, he had some great stuff.
Derek Cosby.
Dude, got crushed.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
When I was on your podcast, which was a complete honor, you know what he told me? Now, you were on Ferguson about two or three times?
2 times, yeah.
2 times?
Yeah.
And I introduced him, and even though he didn't see my face because he was backstage, and I'm like, okay, everybody, put your hands together for Jay Larson, because they were edited, and Ferguson wouldn't even be part of it then.
Yeah.
And then I go on his podcast, they're like, you're Chunky B? You're the guy from the warm-up from Ferguson?
I wasn't so awestruck as he's putting it off right
No.
now.
No, I'm not saying awestruck. Here's where you were. The whole time I thought you were black.
Yeah, big time. Always did.
Is that right?
Even till the only time I knew he was white was when he showed up at the door. When we opened the door, I'm like, "This is Chunky B."
Yeah.
No, thought he was black the whole time. Did you get that a lot?
I look like Denzel Johnson, that people say.
Look at this guy fishing for it. I think he looked like Ray Liotta.
How we doing on time? We
I mean,
good?
like an out of shape, beat up,
Oh, and how did,
like worn down by life.
Do
Ray
you know
Liotta.
that Chunky B was a handsome cat with a very finely coiffed Florida mullet at one point?
He's a
You know?
handsome guy
Yeah.
right
I
now.
appreciate that.
I'm
but
not sure what he did deteriorate a little bit. It
you
might have
know,
been the marathon.
It's called letting yourself go.
He did one marathon. That was the thing.
I ran one marathon.
I saw the picture.
Binge
Yeah.
purge.
Yeah, ebb and flow.
What year was that?
It was about 3 years ago.
That was so impressive to me. You have no idea.
You know what? Everyone has like things on their list of things they want to do before they die and everything. You know what is definitely not on my list?
That one?
And it's run a marathon, because that's a beast. That's
It's
a
really
beast,
crazy.
man.
It is crazy.
It sounds like insanity.
And most of the time, you're avoiding running. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I do.
But I want to let you know, this is not a pitch, but it's a pitch. If you go to junkyb.tv and go to videos,
Yeah.
I shot myself running. I mean, I didn't shoot myself.
that's
I was a little
hilarious.
videotape of me running the marathon. It's only 3.5 minutes. I edited it down, and I want to let you know I finished 26.2 miles, and everyone's with these little
Those
Reynolds
jackets,
wrap,
yeah.
not Reynolds wrap, but tinfoil jackets, and I just ran down the pier. My wife and kids were coming
Down
down
the beer.
the pier.
Oh, the pier. Sorry.
It ended at Santa Monica Pier.
Ah, right.
My wife picked me up at the perfect time. I drove straight to the Cozy Inn in Culver City.
Love the cozy.
And the first beverage I had after 26.2 was a Bud Light. When
Nice.
people are dropping, athletes are rubbing their...
That's Bud Light. The best beer in the world.
Searching for a sponsor.
Dude, Cozy Inn, man. That's the best place
a
in the world to
classic.
watch Monday Night Football, and they feed you for free.
The problem
Yeah.
with the Cozy Inn, and I love the fucking Cozy Inn,
Yeah.
they have beautiful big screen, widescreen TVs without an HD feed. So it's just part of the dive bar experience to be
Yeah.
squinting and trying to
Right.
make it clear.
I just like the 250 mixed cocktails, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're all doubles, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, whatever.
Where do you hang in L.A.?
I don't, man.
Because you got a kid on the way. You know?
I'm not, that's not, I love being at home.
Did you ever?
No.
I never felt the need to go do the party
What about
thing.
on
No.
the road?
Yeah, on the road, I'll get, I drink. I mean, I drink and I smoke and, I hang.
Right.
But, like, I don't have there's not one place I walk into and they're like, hey, Jay, what's up, man? I waited tables and bartended for so long that, like, there was a while that Main Street was my spot. We had people at O'Brien's, we had people at Rick's, and, like, we would all bounce around. But, like.
End up at the Circle Bar?
No, never.
Really?
Yeah, it was I didn't want to deal with this. So douchey for me. I just couldn't do it, and so I would just bounce around places. But I never had like hangs that I would go to. Even I lived behind Abercrombie. I don't know. It just wasn't. I grew up wanting to have a house. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in 5th grade, I had kids' names written on the back of my notebook. I took care of my house as a kid growing up. Like I was a weird dude.
So now you're getting it.
I'm getting it. Like
That's
I love
so
my
cool.
house, and I like spending time at home. When I'm home, I can. Like I literally have to email my wife and be like, when are you home? Can I get your dates? I have to ask my wife for dates, and then I take them. I put in my calendar. I'm like, oh, okay, look, here's 3 nights in the next 2 weeks that we'll both be home. Don't plan anything those nights so I can spend time with my wife. And then it's like, as a stand-up comedian, you're at a place with booze every single night that you're out, so it doesn't really matter to me.
Booze and retarded people.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
A lot of that.
So I did want to talk to him about life on the road because, to me, and I think to other people, that's sort of the mystique and the fascination with stand-up comedy, but it is not that. I mean, it's not glamorous at all.
No, it's not. I mean, sometimes it's cool. Back when you're single, it was real cool.
And you're about to do 5 days in Minneapolis?
No, I just did.
How was that?
2 weeks ago. It was great. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fun, what I like doing now is I like going to the city. I check out my buddy was there the week after me, Roy Scovel, another very funny comedian on a show right now called Ground Floor on TBS. I don't know why I'm plugging him, but I love Rory.
Why not?
He always hits me up and be like, make me a list of all the cool places you're going, because like I always just gotta find like men's clothing stores. I like home stores, so I go to home goods stores. I go to eat. I go to restaurants. I find the best coffee shop, who my buddy told me about. He's like, dude, you gotta check out this coffee shop. Then I go in there. I got their autumnal latte, which was not amazing. Being sarcastic, it was amazing.
That's a double negative.
They put condensed milk in it.
Come on.
Boy, let me tell you something. That was
good
tight.
stuff.
Minneapolis, you know what I mean? It's gonna get cold. They gotta treat you right.
But people, when you go outside of Los Angeles to a club like that, like those people are there to watch comedy and enjoy comedy. And,
Hell yeah.
and not be a douche,
No, well, sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, people. There's gonna be a douche in every crowd. You know what I mean?
Do you have your set douche?
I'm right here. Did you see the point? Hopefully you weren't on that, Travis.
Do you have your set like heckle douche comeback remarks? Do you have that ready to go? No.
Because you can never. I'm just ready at all times. I mean, comedians are usually pretty quick,
Yeah.
So I'm always ready and just deal with people.
By the way, Jay Larson's fucking hilarious. If the people at home don't really know who Jay is.
Well, first of all, they're douchebags if they don't know.
And second of all, go to his website. What's your website?
JayLarsonComedy.com.
And check out that Conan set, especially. Super funny, man.
Thanks.
Okay, hold that thought, Adler. Hey, Jay, I know this is such a boring question, but I'm going to ask you to answer it right after this break. Give us the experience of your first stand-up routine.
Okay.
Hold the thought. You guys, we're going to be right back. This is 1 Degree of Chunky B. Be real, be kind, be cool. We'll see you in a second.
Yeah, we haven't named the box yet.
I call it Emma.
Lovely. It's my wife's name, by the way, Jay.
Emma?
Yeah.
You guys, welcome back to 1 Degree of Chunky B. Right around the horn, of course, you've got the executive producer of Love in the Garage of Love. He goes by the name of Gary Adler.
Thank you,
the
Chunky.
Wizard of the Knobs. I'm in a hurry because I want to get back to Jay. Wizard of the Knobs, Travis Spencer, the man to my right, funny man, Jay Larson out of the Crab Feast and many other avenues. First stand-up routine.
Yeah, I'll give it to you quick because a lot of comedians, we all have this story. You know what I mean? Mine was a little different, I guess. I didn't think I was going to be a comic. I moved to LA to write and act. That was kind of my thing. And then, like 1 week, 3 people asked me while I was waiting tables if I was a stand-up. Because I was like always funny at the tables, and I was like, no. And this girl I worked with overheard someone. She goes, my friend runs a comedy room if you ever want to do comedy. And I was like, oh. So I went to my buddy Tony, and I'm like, I think I might do this. And he goes, dude, just have 5 minutes ready. Just go and have 5 minutes. And I was like, all right. So I go to this place, Dublin's. You remember Dublin's on Sunset?
Yeah.
Sure.
So they used to do a show there, and this guy I met, Ahmed, who's on Sullivan and Son now, he was one of the guys that ran the room with Jay Davis. Jay used to open for Dane. And I told him, I'm like, hey, man, I'm friends of Vanessa's. She said I should meet you and, like, you know, you might be able to put me up. He goes, man, I can't put you up tonight. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I go, what about, like, next week? And he goes, well, you got a tape or anything, like a reel? And I was like, nah, I don't have a reel. And he goes, well, where else do you, like, perform? Like, what are the places? And I go, I've never done comedy, man. This will be my first time. And he goes, oh, dude, this is not the room for you, man. This is all pros. And I was like, well, just tell me whatever you need me to do from now to next week, and I'll do it if you let me come back. And he goes, all right, tell you what. Go to as many open mics as you can. Come back next week, and I'll give you 5 minutes. And I was like, all right. So I went to one open mic, did 3 minutes, tanked. And then I showed up there the next night. I went first, did 5 minutes, did really well.
Oh, nice.
Like, it would... like 150 people there. Dane Cook closed the show. Ralphie May was on it. There's a lot of really good comedians on it. And they were like, why don't you come back next week? And after that show, this girl came up to me and she's like, hey, do I know you from Boston? And I was like, no. And she goes, San Diego? Do you work in San Diego? I was like, no, that was my first time tonight. And she goes, here's my card. Call me tomorrow. I'll help. I'm like, she's like, you know, these are all professional comedians. And I was like, oh, no, I don't really, I was wearing flip-flops, you know? I mean, I didn't know much. And like I said, I wasn't a comedy fan. I didn't know comedy.
Is there a comedy wardrobe? Is that what you're telling us?
I would never ever wear flip flops on stage.
That's all he does.
No, I know he does, but not on stage. Like,
Low pants and flip flops.
Not anymore. You wouldn't. You're saying?
No, that was like
never.
And I'll never wear shorts. I never wear shorts. I never wear flip flops. So anyway, like from that point on, I never did open mics. I just was starting to get booked shows because this girl was really sweet and helped me. And that's kind of how I got started.
When you did it just sort of click in like, okay, I found it?
It clicked.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember sitting in the back of the room and kind of like panicking a little bit. And I just told myself, I'm like, you got two decisions. You can leave right now. You don't know any of these people and you can just never do stand-up again. Or you can just get over it and go do it and see what happens. And then literally as soon as I got the mic, all the nerves flushed out of me.
Good for you, man.
And it went really well. So it was cool. It was a cool, it was different.
What was your worst gig?
I mean, I've had a lot of bad gigs, but nothing that's just like, oh, that was. I always like to make the best out of a bad situation, you know. Yeah. So I'd say probably in the middle of Iraq, 2007.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
You entertained the troops. You went to.
I've gone over a couple times.
So awesome.
2:00 in the afternoon, 95 degrees. Everyone's sitting on the ground. Okay, you get a mic.
Full fatigues. Like
full. Oh yeah, middle of the day. On a base that was like didn't have anything. This was a base we made, not like a base we took over. There's a big difference, trust me. And I'm doing jokes about my grandmother being a butterfly, and they're just like not having it.
That's a good joke, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. I like it too, but
You know what I find it fascinating when I first met Jay after I'd seen him do comedy a couple times, and I'm friends with Ryan, and we eventually met. I said, hey man, I saw you at the World Cafe and you did the funniest joke, man, about sticking keys in between your knuckles and thinking you're safe, when you're going from your car to your front door. He goes, that was the first and last time I ever did that joke.
Man.
And that thing stuck in my head this whole time.
I used to run this show. That's how I started. Like once I started, then I was like finding it's tougher to get spots because everyone, like, if they booked you, they either wanted you either had to do open mics, do rooms where you had to bring people, or just get booked. So I was getting booked at first through that girl, but then these people were like, all right, man, I can't have you every week. And then I had to do some bringer shows, and then I was like, man, I need to find my own way. So I started my own show where I could get up every week, and I would just try new jokes every single week, which was the best thing ever.
Oh, man. Full Charge was down there. It was super
I built
funny,
that
man.
room up, man. It was great. And then Carl D took it over. Chunky B and Carl D, man.
I don't know the guy.
He's a very funny guy. Done the crab feast a couple times.
It's no Muffin Kentucky, but it does have a nice ring to it, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that about Chunky?
What?
Do you have to bring it up every
no, I have
week?
to because he'll find this hilarious. When Chunky started in Panama City, Florida, decided to come out to California, and along the way he did stand up as the comedy duo of Muff and Kentucky. And which one was he?
He was Muff?
Yeah. He was Shut up. Seriously.
I don't even know what Muffin Tuck means. I don't know what it means,
So
dude.
I came up with the T-shirt.
I love that. Oh, okay.
This is the T-shirt that. Now, keep in mind, Muff and Kentucky have not been a comedy duo for.
Where's Kentucky?
He's back in Kentucky.
What's he do?
He works for a communications company.
Yeah, and then we got the T-shirts coming out.
All right, so I don't know. Can we see this? Pull it back a little bit. Okay. All right, Muff and Kentucky.
Chunky was the one on the left.
Did you know something? You don't have to tell the viewers at home.
There's like 8 people watching.
Were you ever a comedy duo of any kind?
No. Well, just the podcast with Rye.
But you did a lot of improv at the Acme and all that.
No, I did. I took classes and stuff like that. But what happened for me was I started doing stand-up. I had that like thing at Dublin's, and then I started doing stand-up every week. I was doing like 3 or 4 shows because I was just like into it. And I was taking improv classes, and I just finished my first screenplay that I wrote. And I was like, whoa, you kind of got to pick one thing here.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought. And I picked stand-up because it was like the most instantaneous, and people could see you right away, and and it felt like it fit. I always tried to keep my writing up, but I never continued with the improv.
Is there any? Go ahead, Chunk.
What was the longest set? And the reason I asked,
I'm not like a crazy guy. Like
no, but if you had to, and
Did
someone
anyone
started
leave you-
going like this, how long could you actually go?
I don't know. I just did a college a little while ago. I did like an hour 20. I mean, there are guys that do like 4 hours and stuff. I just don't. I don't want to hear myself talk that long. You know what I mean? I don't want to sit. I don't think I want to sit through any comedian. The only comedian I could think I could sit through for more than an hour and a half.
Steve Carlin.
He's fantastic.
Would be Bill Burr or Bill Cosby. I don't think anyone else would care to listen to longer. Maybe Louis C.K. But
Bill Cosby has the reputation of going.
Yeah, his shows usually are 2 hours. I'm gonna try and go see him in February. He's got a show in Santa Barbara, I think. But yeah, I don't like Chappelle will go crazy long, and I love Chappelle, but I don't think I'd want to see it. I don't know, just not me.
You still have family and everybody back in Boston?
Yeah, everyone's back there. My sister's in Ohio, then a sister and a brother and my mother are all back east in Boston.
Now, when you go back to Boston to perform,
yeah, I do.
How's that?
It's not bad. I went back in November last year, and I rented like a small theater and put on a show, and it went really well. And I think people finally like, oh, look, he's getting better. Because I went home one time and performed and tanked.
Oh.
Tanked.
Your own mom is like, baby, you need to start writing.
Tanked.
So you had all your people there?
Yeah, this is probably the one. I'll give it to you quick. When I first started doing stand-up, that girl who helped me, she's like, I know, she's from back east. She's like, I know this guy, he'll book you back east. And I was like, all right. Called him. He gave me a guest set, 5 minutes. It was at the Kowloon. It's this Chinese restaurant. I had like 50 people come to see me, and then there was like whatever the show was. I did really well. I mean, nothing great. I wasn't awesome, but I did well for like where I was along. Mm-hmm. And then I was coming back later, and it'd been like 10 months now I've been doing comedy. So I called the guy again. I was like, hey, man, can I get a guest set again? And he goes, yeah, man, I can give you like a 5-minute guest set. And like, nah, man. I was kind of hoping to get a little longer than that. And he goes, yeah, but I've never even seen you. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but last time I was at your show, I had like 50 people come out. And he's like, I don't care how many people came out. Like, it's my show. It's like my reputation. And I was like, all right, well, what do you want to do? And he goes, I'll give you 5 minutes if you want it. I'm like, nah, I want 20. And he was just like, who the fuck are you? Like, we got in a fight. Like, got into a fight. And I was like, all right, man. And he hung up on me. And then, like, he called me 2 days later. He's like, listen, man, I'm sorry. I got a little heated. He goes, I'll give you 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Come down, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm like, all right. So I go home, and it's at this comedy club called Giggles on Route 1. And I get there, and I show up, and I go up, and he's there, and I meet him, and he's like, hey, Jay, Mike. I'm like, hey, Mike, how you doing, man? And he was, like, really nice to me. He's great. And then I went to the front desk to check in. I go, hey, I'm Jay Larson. I'm on the show tonight. And she goes, oh, you're Jay Larson?
Oh, great.
And I go, yeah. And she goes, we have been sold out since Wednesday because of you. People have been calling nonstop.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, here we go. And then I ate it.
How do you tank, dude?
How
does that happen?
You got me, man. I think I don't know.
You got a room full of people rooting for you, basically.
Yeah, but they weren't, man. They were just looking at me. They were looking at me like, what are you talking about?
You got us out for this?
No, okay, hold on. Let's go through some more details. Okay, you're tanking, right?
Well, no, I'm having fun, and I like the jokes, and I like the material, but no one's laughing. Like, I mean, nobody.
Okay.
There's 185 people in the room.
Do you think they got the feeling that maybe, Jay's coming back with his West Coast humor?
It might have been something different. I remember the whole time like trying to dissect it. I'm like, well, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. And then like around 17 minutes, I literally just told them like, guys, I'm having fun. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then like everyone was so awkward to me afterwards. And then I had to go back. I went back west, and I'm like, all right, maybe you need to like change some things. Maybe you have to look at some things, work harder, change, blah, blah, blah. And it helped. You know what I mean? I think that's a big thing though too. Like people always, when people are talented, I think you do things and you expect people to respond right away because you know how talented you are, but they don't. And a lot of times they need to. You have to prove. You have to prove yourself, not only to them but to yourself. And so for me, I was like, all right, now I just got to go work. Like that's where you like separate the men from the boys, because sometimes like an experience like that for some people, they would just stop altogether.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like a huge growth spot. I'm
You're
like,
going to be a great coach dad, by the way. Chunky and I are both coach dads.
I can't
You're
wait.
gonna be a great coach dad.
I can't wait to
Man, it's
coach.
the best, man.
I hope I can coach. And if it's not sports, then maybe I can, be helping them in something else.
The hardest thing about being a coach dad is teaching yourself to shut the fuck up while you're taking video.
No. Exactly. But I want to let you know, I think even something more difficult is being a coach dad with the job he has. So you can't dedicate yourself to a season of dates on a
No,
team.
you know what, man? I set my life up. I really focused on my writing the last 5 years of my life so that I could try and make my own show, so I could go on the road less, or at least pick when I would go on the road and where, because I knew the life I wanted. And I was looking ahead, like I said, I wanted kids from a very young age. Yeah. Right. And I never had a dad. I always wanted to be a dad. You know what I mean? So I always looked at it. I'm like, all right, well, I need to find something else in the industry that can keep me in one place, and then allow my wife to not have to work if she doesn't want to, so that I can go on the road the times I need to and be big enough that I can just go do one night like at a theater and then come home instead of going to do 5 days in Minnesota in November. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe like, how about go to Minnesota, in late August. You know what I mean? And bring my wife and kid,
Nice.
Are you writing this show for you to star in?
Yeah.
So that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Different ballgame. But then I have another show that I'm going to depending on what happens with this, then I'm going to try. I want to be a show creator. That's what I want to do. And then, because I've always been like, I like seeing comedians that I think are funny. I love watching comics and being like, dude, it'd be great for you. And they never know how to respond to that. So I'd love to be able to see comics and be like, oh, let me write a show for this guy, and then develop a show around people, and then
Nice.
Let's
try that on for size. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Larson, show creator.
Ooh,
yes.
Nice.
Sounds real good, bro.
Say call them show runners, or there's a show creator?
Both.
Both.
Combo burrito of love.
Right now, I don't have a show.
Well, we hope that for you, man.
Thanks, man.
That seems like a great dream job, and something that you could probably just take your kid and hang out with them.
Yeah, well, I mean that'd be ideal.
How many kids you want?
Well, back to what we were saying about the world and what it's turning into. I think ultimately this is just for me. I don't think you should leave behind any more children than you were with your wife before. So 2 would be kind of our ideal. But then I'd also like to adopt. I'd really like to adopt.
Hey, just a sensitive guy, Jay Larson.
Well, you know what?
I want to have.
I'd love to have a house full of kids.
Do we have that sheet of paper that we showed Paul Preston? Because he only picked 1 kid. There's still 2 left.
I don't think there is. No, I think Paul took it home with him.
Okay.
I always wanted to have, I grew up with 4 of us. There was 4 of us, and I loved being in a house full of a lot of kids. And I always told my wife, I'm like, man, I'd love, especially if we had a lot of money, if my career is able to go the way it is, I'd love to be able to give back a little. And I'd like to take some kids that are less fortunate and give them a family and show them what it's like to be a part of a team. That would be ideal. I'm not saying I will.
That's good for you. That's great, man.
It'd be cool. And I also think people should adopt from within the United States. Okay.
I hate
you know what I mean? There's enough children
in
our country that don't have people.
When did your dad bugger off, man?
2, when I was 2.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah, so I don't put all the blame on him. I think it was tough for the 2 of them. I think there's a lot of people out there that probably had divorced parents. But I think the last time I saw him was 12. We'd see him, we'd go bowling or we'd go fishing or we'd go for McDonald's or whatever. But then it just became less and less and less.
Did he get another family?
He got another wife who had a kid who was a little messed up, but it wasn't.
My dad got
like
remarried, and my dad's always been in my life, even though we were divorced.
Yeah. Some guys are capable of that. I don't think my dad had the makeup to fight through the bullshit he had to deal with my mother to get that relationship. I saw him actually 3 years ago. We got together and met up. It was the first time I'd seen him in 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, big time.
How freaky was that? Give us a setup.
I met him. He's an antique dealer. We met at this antique store that he works out of sometimes, and I remember walking in and being like, "You're scared of this, dude?" I'm taller than him now. I'm bigger than him. I'm more confident. He's the one with the shame, And so, we just hung out. But I realized, I'm like, man, I'm a lot like this dude. We think a lot. We talk a lot. I love antiques, man. I antique all the time. All the time, bro. Dude, I was raised by women, too, man. I love interior design. Trust me. You know what I could do with this space? A lot.
You can't paint it any greener, I can tell you that.
I would do a lot.
What is this color, by the way?
I would say this is like a lime green. I don't know exactly.
It's pistachio, right?
Oh yeah, it's pistachio. Yeah,
Oh,
pistachio.
that's a setup. That is a complete
But I mean, if you
setup.
got pistachio ice cream, it'd be that color.
Yeah.
Or sea foam, they call that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
So I mean, I like all that stuff. You know, I love that stuff. So
Well, that's cool, man.
yeah, man.
Are you metrosexual? Remember that term?
I would be if this was the 1990s. You know what I mean?
Or if you were like Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I like all that stuff. I like fashion. I like clothes. You know, but I don't really like. I don't know if I'm metric.
Can I go out of bounds? Can I go out of bounds?
Step
here?
out of bounds, bro.
Do you wax?
No, I don't wax.
Oh, then you're not
I'm a
wax,
fucking
dude.
man, dude.
Come
I'm a
on.
man.
No. If you like fashion, there's a chance you could be waxing.
You don't
There is.
wax. You just kind of,
No, some dudes
shave
go
it
get their
off.
backs waxed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
I don't get my back waxed. My wife nares my
it.
back.
In the beginning of
Nares
the
it,
summer,
huh? How does that
every-
work?
I lay down on the ground and watch a rerun of Grey's Anatomy or something, and she spreads the shit all over my back, and 20 minutes later, I shower it off.
And then how long does that last?
Like a summer.
Oh,
no,
summer.
really?
Yeah.
It's
good
not
times.
bad for you or anything like that?
I'm sure I got some sort of internal something
Cancer?
or other.
You
Something,
got cancer? Yeah.
It's a Monsanto
Hey,
product.
Jay, I'm going to be honest with you. He's bragging about it, right? He's bragging about how great his back feels. I did it. I let the shit on for like 10 minutes, and the next day...
burned.
I had pimples all over my back.
Yeah, well, it means everyone's going to react differently, you know?
Sorry. I'm
I
sorry,
shave it
Chucky.
once in a while.
I want to let you know, this is
You gotta
riveting
keep-
conversations.
You do
Can
have to keep the area right, though, for your person. You know, your
Yeah.
wife. You
Yeah,
got to
you
keep
don't
it
want-
all
she doesn't wanna
good,
look at
man.
that. Yeah.
All right, here's a question we always ask. Name away, I know it's a bummer, but it comes from Travis. How would you like to die?
How would I like to die?
Yeah.
Quickly. I don't care how. I would like it to be quickly. I have a feeling I'm probably going to be old. My family has a lot of longevity in it. 102, 199, 98.
No way.
Yeah. Lot of longevity. So I think I'll probably be old. I don't want to suffer. I've watched it. You know, it's not pretty. So
It's not funny either.
actually, if I could go ideal, it'd be you know what? My wife would be dead. And there'd be a group of old guys that I meet at a coffee shop every morning, and we play whist, you know. So we'd be playing whist, and a guy would come in to hold the place up, and then I would step in, grab the guy,
Right.
and then I'd get the gun away from him. I'd put a cap, one in his knee, just
Yeah.
so he would have to live and suffer, and then
Right.
he'd grab it and then shoot me like in the heart. You know what I mean?
Jay Larson dies as a hero at the bagel shop.
Or in the head, and then he can't get the gun off, and then maybe one of my buddies grabs him, and then I'm just there with my buddies, and they're holding me. They're like, you know, is he going? And then I die in their arms or something.
And then they're like, he was 102. It's fine.
Exactly. Like, thank God, man. They're like, what was he holding over there? What was he holding in his hand?
Oh, my God. Hey, Jay.
How would you guys die?
I'll tell
Just
you
give it to me quick, because I know you got to go.
I'm over the cliff with a car because I want that 20 seconds to think about everything.
Oh, you mean, I don't know if you would think the rush would be insane.
It's a big cliff. It's a huge cliff. 20 seconds, I said. How long
20 seconds, your whole life in 20
How long does
seconds.
it take to go off a cliff? 20
Dude,
seconds.
it's a big cliff, bro.
Yeah, it's huge.
My way is I die of a heart attack making love to Marie Osmond.
Good
No, you
Lord.
said you were stuck like a dog to Sandra Bullock.
Every
last
week
time.
it changes.
Back butt to butt, like
Sandy Bull,
Sandy
huh?
had like the vagina clasp on him,
Uh-huh.
and that's how he goes.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, that was last week. Next week will be a whole different thing. Can I sincerely look you in the eye and say you're a really good man?
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you for sharing.
Thanks
some
for having me on.
Some really good, great stuff. Your comedy, your family life.
Tell the folks at home where we can find you.
Exactly.
JayLarsonComedy.com, Jay Larson Comedy on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and check out the Crab Feast podcast at thecrabfeast.com.
By the way, the Crab Feast is the best.
I agree. Across the table of love in the garage of love, that's Gary Adler from Four Eyed Films, FOUREYED Films. Look it up because if you don't, you're a loser. The man to my left, the Wizard of the Knobs. He's a great individual, and your podcast is Podcalyptici.
Thank you. Apocalyptic times.
That's a mouthful,
I love
isn't
it. I love it. Great work, Chunky. It's an honor being here. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
All right, you guys are listening to 1 Degree of Chunky B. Jay Larson, thank you for your kindness. Be real, be kind, be cool. We are DUNE.
I loves me some 1 Degree of Chunky B.